The 15th day of the Kurukshetra war dawned with the scent of death still lingering in the air. The battlefield was soaked in blood, and the cries of the fallen echoed across the land. The Pandavas mourned the loss of Ghatotkacha, their Rakshasa warrior, but Krishna, standing amidst the grieving warriors, smiled. Arjuna, puzzled by Krishna's reaction, sought an explanation. Krishna revealed the greater purpose behind Ghatotkacha's death. Karna had used his most powerful weapon, the divine spear of Indra, and with it gone, his fate was sealed. Had Karna still possessed his celestial armor, earrings, and the spear, not even the gods would have been able to stand against him. But now Karna's vulnerability had been ensured, and his downfall was certain. Krishna further explained that Karna's death had been preordained. The Pandavas, though momentarily grieving, recognized that this sacrifice had tipped the balance of war in their favor. However, the battles ahead would be even more ferocious. As the sun ascended, Drona, the Kaurava commander, emerged onto the battlefield with fury unmatched. His arrows rained down upon the Pandava ranks, cutting through them like a tempest. Drupada's grandson stood in his path, attempting to halt his advance, but they fell in quick succession. Then came Drupada himself, the king of Panchala and Drona's lifelong rival. The clash between the two was brief but brutal. Drupada, though valiant, could not withstand Drona's might. An arrow to the heart sent him to the ground, his lifeless body collapsing among his warriors. Virata, king of Matsya, charged forth next, but he too met the same fate. Drona's wrath was unrelenting, and his enemies fell like leaves in a storm. The Pandavas watched in horror as Drona's rampage continued. He was no longer a teacher, he was destruction incarnate. Duryodhana, eager for more bloodshed, urged him forward, but Drona was unmoved by his king's impressions. He praised Arjuna's skill, reminding Duryodhana that even with all his might, the Pandavas could not be underestimated. Drona vowed to fight until he had killed every last Panchala warrior. The elephant named Ashwathama with the Pandava army reeling under Drona's assault. Krishna devised a plan to break the invincible warrior's spirit. He instructed Bhima to kill an elephant named Ashwathama, a beast of war that bore the same name as Drona's son. Bhima struck the elephant down and bellowed across the battlefield, proclaiming, "Ashwathama is dead." The word spread like wildfire, reaching Drona's ears. Drona, however, did not believe Bhima's claim. He turned to Yudhishthira, the embodiment of truth, and demanded an answer. Bound by fate, Yudhishthira spoke carefully. "Ashwathama has been killed." The elephant. But the final words were muttered so softly that the war drums drowned them out. Drona heard only what he feared most. His son, he believed, was no more. A father's grief overcame him, and his will to fight crumbled. He withdrew from battle, his heart shattered. Drona, now a broken man, cast aside his weapons. He sat in meditation, surrendering himself to the inevitability of death. But destiny had no mercy. Dhristadyumna, the warrior born for this very moment, seized the opportunity. He advanced upon the unarmed Drona, raising his sword high. Arjuna, bound by honor, cried out to spare his teacher, but the plea came too late. With a single swift stroke, Dhristadyumna beheaded Drona. The battlefield fell into stunned silence. The greatest teacher of the age had fallen. Drona's soul ascended, freed from the burdens of war, but his death sent shockwaves through the Kaurava ranks. Duryodhana, Karna, and Shakuni recoiled in fear. Their strongest warrior was gone. The news of Drona's death reached his son Ashwathama, who burned with fury. His grief turned into unquenchable rage. He vowed vengeance against the Pandavas and invoked the Narayanastra, a celestial weapon of devastating power. The sky darkened as fire and wind spiraled through the battlefield. The divine flames descended upon the Pandava ranks, consuming everything in their path. The warriors screamed as the firestorm threatened to annihilate them. Krishna, wise in the ways of celestial weapons, ordered the Pandavas to lay down their arms. "Do not resist it. Bow before its power," he commanded. The soldiers followed his advice, submitting to the weapon's overwhelming force. But Bhima, in defiance, refused to lower his pace. The Narayanastra, drawn to resistance, raged stronger against Bhima. The flames closed in around him, threatening to consume him entirely. Arjuna and Krishna rushed to his side, pleading for him to yield. At last, Bhima relented, dropping his weapon. The celestial fire subsided, sparing the Pandava army from certain doom. Enraged beyond reason, Ashwathama launched himself into battle against Drishtadyumna. He cut down Pandava warriors without hesitation, sending their forces into retreat. Satyaki attempted to protect Drishtadyumna but was severely wounded. 5 warriors tried to stop Ashwathama, but he overpowered them all, slaying Sudarshana and Paurava. Fear spread through the Pandava ranks. Furious at Ashwathama's rampage, Arjuna stepped forward and challenged him. Ashwathama, provoked, unleashed the Agneya Astra, a weapon of fire. A raging inferno erupted, consuming the Pandava army, but Arjuna countered it with the Brahmastra, neutralizing the flames. Ashwathama, stunned by his failure, fled the battlefield and encountered Vyasa. The sage revealed the divine origins of Krishna and Arjuna, explaining their connection to Narayana and Rudra. Realizing he could not stand against them, Ashwathama accepted his defeat and withdrew. As the battle raged on, Arjuna witnessed a divine figure leading the Pandavas to victory. He turned to Vyasa for answers. Vyasa revealed that it was Mahadeva, Lord Shiva himself, who had intervened. Shiva's immense power had guided Arjuna through battle, just as he had destroyed Tripura and vanquished his foes in ages past. Vyasa advised Arjuna to seek refuge in Shiva, assuring him that ultimate victory was certain. The battlefield trembled with the echoes of divine intervention, and the warriors knew that the war was nearing its most fearful hour. With Drona gone, the Kaurava army had lost its greatest commander. Duryodhana, staring at the remnants of his shattered forces, turned to Karna. Drona has fallen, the war must go on. Karna, take command. And so the war moved forward. Blood continued to flow, and destiny waited for no one. Day 16 of the Kurukshetra war. As the first light of dawn breaks over the war-ravaged fields of Kurukshetra, the 16th day of the battle unfolds. The Kaurava forces, weakened by the loss of their greatest generals, Bhishma and Drona, place their hopes in Karna, the unparalleled warrior, the son of Surya. With his honor and a promise to Duryodhana at stake, Karna steps into the role of supreme commander, determined to eliminate Arjuna and turn the tide of war. The Pandavas, exhausted but unwavering, brace themselves for another day of brutal combat. The air is thick with the sounds of war horns, the rhythmic beats of battle drums, and the cries of warriors preparing for their destiny. As Karna takes command and Arjuna steels himself for the ultimate confrontation, the fate of the war teeters on the edge. Each soldier readies himself for battle, knowing that by nightfall the war will have moved closer to its climax. Following Drona's demise, Karna is officially anointed as the commander of the Kaurava army. Duryodhana, in a grand ceremony, offers ritualistic gifts to Brahmins and warriors alike. The Kauravas rejoice, yet beneath the rivalry, the immense responsibility weighs upon Karna's shoulders. He knows this battle is more than just another confrontation. It is his destiny. The weight of command now rests on Karna's shoulders. The morning rituals of anointment complete, he knows that this day will define his legacy. His strategies take shape swiftly. He arranges the Makara Viva, placing himself at the forefront, aiming to lure Arjuna into a direct battle. Karna's victories begin early. His precision and unmatched archery leave scores of Pandava warriors dead. He slays several commanders and devastates enemy formations. His arrows cut through the air like fire, and the Kauravas rally behind him, gaining renewed vigor. Even Arjuna momentarily acknowledges his prowess from afar, knowing their battle is inevitable, yet losses plague Karna. The Pandavas, led by Bhima and Satyaki, tear through sections of his army. He watches helplessly as Arjuna, driven by vengeance, slays his son Vrishasena in a brutal display of speed. This moment rattles Karna, filling him with grief and fury. The weight of his curse, the loss of his divine armor, and the inability to recall his Brahmastra at a crucial moment lingers at the back of his mind. Karna's mind is a battlefield of its own. He is torn between his personal vendetta against Arjuna, his promise to Kunti to spare her sons except for Arjuna, and the unrelenting expectation of Duryodhana. His composure wavers, but he steels himself, knowing that the day is not yet over. He must persist for honor, for his friend, and for the war he has sworn to win. Let us understand the battle formations of the day. Karna orchestrates the Kaurava forces into the formidable Makaravyuha, the crocodile formation. At the mouth stands Karna himself, ready to lead from the front. The eyes of the formation are guarded by Shakuni and Uluka, while the head is held by Ashwathama. Duryodhana, surrounded by his brothers, anchors the neck. The body is bolstered by Trigartas, Narayanas, and other Kaurava allies, fortifying the formation. With this strategy, the Kauravas hope to entrap the Pandavas and ensure Karna's direct encounter with Arjuna. In response, Arjuna and the Pandavas deploy the crescent moon formation, a tactical counter to Karna's strategy. Arjuna holds the center with Bhima and Satyaki positioned on the flanks. Yudhishthira remains at the rear, shielded by his trusted warriors. Their objective is clear: breach the Kaurava defenses and engage Karna in direct combat. By manipulating their positions, the Pandavas intend to disorient and weaken the Kaurava forces, making way for Arjuna's ultimate showdown with Karna. With the sun now fully risen, both armies surge forward, their collective war cry shaking the battlefield. Dust rises as chariots race forward. Arrows fly like streaks of lightning, and war elephants charge with the force of mountains. The battle has begun. Bhima, mounted on a war elephant, faces the king of Kuluta, Kshemadurti. The battle is a ferocious clash of strength. Bhima's club lands with earth-shaking force, crushing Kshemadurti's elephant. As the Kulata king attempts a final charge, Bhima delivers a devastating blow, ending his challenge instantly. The ground trembles with the weight of his fall, a warning to the Kaurava ranks. The Yadava warrior Satyaki confronts the Kekya brothers Vinda and Anuvinda. With masterful precision, he disables their bows, forcing them to fight defensively. In a final swift maneuver, he beheads Anuvinda, forcing the Kaurava ranks into momentary retreat. The battlefield erupts in chaos as Satyaki's forces push forward. King Pandya charges fearlessly, his spear finding its mark upon Ashwathama's diadem. Enraged, Ashwathama retaliates with celestial weaponry, cutting down Pandya in a moment of fierce combat. The Pandava allies mourn the loss of a noble warrior, while Ashwathama turns his focus back to the battlefield, seeking more victims for his wrath. As the battle rages, Arjuna faces Karna's son Vrishasena. Remembering Abhimanyu's brutal death, Arjuna unleashes a relentless attack, severing Vrishasena's bow, arms, and ultimately ending his life. Karna watches helplessly as his son falls before him. Ashwathama, seeking vengeance for his father, engages Shikandi in an intense battle. He strikes mercilessly, piercing Shikandi's armor with divine arrows. Though heavily wounded, Shikandi manages to escape with the help of his ally, narrowly avoiding death at Ashwathama's hands. The king of Magadha, Dandadhara, enters the battlefield atop a mighty war elephant. Arjuna, ever precise, methodically serves his limbs, bringing his foe crashing down. The fall of Dandadhara marks another victory for the Pandavas as the Kaurava forces reel from the losses. As the battle wears on, all semblance of order disintegrates. Warriors fight with fists, broken weapons, even their bare hands. Blood soaks the ground as desperation grips both sides. There is no longer a clear structure, just survival and a thirst for vengeance. The Kauravas fight fiercely, but their losses mount. The Pandavas push forward, their goal drawing closer. As darkness falls, both armies retreat to their respective camps. Though battered, Karna remains steadfast, his resolve unshaken. The Pandavas, though victorious in many encounters, bear the weight of loss. The 16th day has been one of unprecedented heroism and suffering. The decisive confrontation between Karna and Arjuna now looms inevitable, a clash that will determine the ultimate fate of the war. The battlefield is littered with the fallen, and yet the war rages on. As the stars emerge over Kurukshetra, the warriors brace for what lies ahead. The wheel of destiny turns ever forward, drawing the great war towards its fateful conclusion. The final reckoning is near. Day 17. Karnavada Parva. The 17th day of battle began with the first rays of dawn casting a crimson glow over the blood-stained plains of Kurukshetra. The air was thick with the scent of death, mingling with the distant cries of warriors mourning their fallen comrades. The battlefield had become a realm of suffering where exhaustion and desperation gripped both sides. The Kauravas, now deprived of their greatest strategist, looked to Karna, their last beacon of hope. Duryodhana, with desperation in his voice, commanded his remaining forces to form an impenetrable defense. The Pandavas, their spirits bolstered by Krishna's presence, understood that the time had come for the decisive encounter. Arjuna knew that Karna's fall would dismantle the Kaurava resistance. As the armies assembled, the atmosphere crackled with tension. Warriors who had fought alongside their brethren for days on end now stared at their opponents with a mix of rage and sorrow. The war had taken its toll, but the desire for victory burned stronger than ever. Trumpets sounded, announcing the start of what would be the bloodiest day yet. With banners fluttering in the wind, commanders issued final orders, preparing for the battle that would determine the fate of Kuru dynasty. The Kauravas, led by Karna, arranged themselves in the formidable Makara formation, a defensive array designed to absorb and counter any advancing force. Within this structure, Karna had the freedom to strike at Arjuna at will. At Duryodhana's insistence, Shalya reluctantly assumed the role of Karna's charioteer. His expertise in maneuvering the chariot was undeniable, yet his loyalty to the Kaurava cause remained uncertain. The Pandavas, aware of the impending confrontation, adopted the Vajravyuha, thunderbolt formation. This arrangement aimed to pierce through the enemy defenses, isolating Karna and preventing any reinforcements from reaching him. Arjuna, Bhima and Satyaki took the lead in the assault, while Nakula and Sahadeva stood ready to protect Yudhishthira from any flanking threats. The battle began with volleys of arrows darkening the sky, the clash of metal against metal, the cries of warriors and the thunder of charging elephants filled the air. The earth trembled under the sheer force of the confrontation. The Pandavas fought with relentless determination, cutting through the Kaurava ranks. Meanwhile, Karna, atop his chariot, surveyed the battlefield, waiting for the moment when he would face his greatest rival. The son of Drona, fueled by the desire for vengeance, charged at Drishtadyumna. Their weapons clashed with fury, sparks flying from the repeated blows. Ashwatthama's sheer aggression overwhelmed Drishtadyumna, forcing him to retreat under the protection of Pandava warriors. Yet the fire of vengeance in Ashwatthama's heart remained unquenched, promising further bloodshed. Bhima, his eyes burning with rage, stormed through the battlefield like an unstoppable force. The moment he found Dushasana, the tension reached its peak. The duel was brutal, their weapons striking with unrelenting power. In the end, Bhima's fury prevailed. He tore Dushasana apart, fulfilling his long-awaited vow, leaving the Kaurava soldiers paralyzed with terror. His laughter echoed across the battlefield as he declared Draupadi avenged. The twins moved as a single entity, cutting through the enemy ranks. Shakuni's skin fell one by one under their blades, as they exacted retribution for years of deceit. Their strikes were precise, each thrust and parry calculated, dismantling a key portion of Duryodhana's strategy. With each fallen foe, their determination grew, their blades never slowing. Shikhandi, driven by past grievances, sought out Kripa. Their duel was intense, with arrows flying like lightning. Despite his determination, Shikhandi was unable to match Kripa's tactical brilliance and was forced to withdraw, leaving Kripa with a rare victory for the Kauravas that day. The Pandava warrior vowed to return, his thirst for vengeance still unquenched. Satyaki stood before Karna, knowing the challenge ahead. Karna's precision was devastating, each arrow piercing Satyaki's armor. As Satyaki staggered, Krishna and Arjuna intervened to protect him. Karna's dominance in the duel was evident, yet destiny had other plans for him. Despite his strength, his path toward victory had already been sealed by fate. Consumed by grief and rage, Karna unleashed his full might upon the Pandavas. His bow sang as he struck down Satyaki and Drishtadyumna, sending waves of fear through his enemies. Amidst the chaos, he encountered Sahadeva, yet chose to spare him, a moment of honor amid the carnage. His prowess was unmatched, but fate conspired against him. Karna's relentless assault reached Yudhishthira, who struggled under the barrage of arrows. Unable to withstand Karna's might, he was forced to retreat, an event that shook the Pandavas deeply. Enraged by his brother's suffering, Arjuna swore to end Karna before the day ended. The rivalry between the two warriors had reached its boiling point. The long awaited moment arrived. Karna and Arjuna stood across from each other, their bows drawn. Their arrows clashed mid-air, the battlefield echoing with the sound of destruction. Karna wounded Arjuna repeatedly, displaying mastery in combat. But Krishna, ever watchful, guided Arjuna's responses, ensuring that each strike carried the weight of destiny itself. As the battle neared its climax, Karna's chariot wheel suddenly sank into the ground. He struggled to free it, his frustration mounting. In that moment, he sought a brief reprieve, but Krishna reminded Arjuna of Karna's past misdeeds. Arjuna, with unwavering resolve, loosed a celestial arrow. It found its mark, piercing Karna's chest. The great warrior fell, his life extinguished in an instant. Silence settled over the battlefield. The Kaurava soldiers, their spirits crushed, beheld their fallen champion. Duryodhana, watching from a distance, felt the weight of impending defeat settle upon him. With Karna's death, his last great hope had been extinguished. The 17th day of battle had concluded. The Kauravas had lost their final shield. Victory for the Pandavas was within reach. Yet the war was not over. Duryodhana, though shaken, refused to surrender. His final stand would determine the fate of the Kuru dynasty.